One, two, one, two, one, two, three, four. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody.
Good afternoon, or evening, or morning, depending on where you're at on the planet Earth. I am Bruce Leonard, of course. Thank you for tuning in to another hour of Bruce Leonard Leans Left, while it's still legal. Still legal today, but it's a lot going on. Breaking news as I was coming on to get ready to do this show. The Houthis have joined the fight, apparently, and the forced cargo ships were forced to turn around in the Red Sea. So they're going to open up another front. In this clusterfuck of shit that Donald Trump has us mired in at the moment. It's like... doesn't seem to be any plan, and the Pentagon is running out of money. Although I don't know how this is possible. I've been hearing a lot of stories that they're saying that the Pentagon, hey Laura, is running out of money, and so Hegseth and the Joint Chief of Staff chairman were up at the Congress begging for money. And the Congress said that he had $75 billion that was already allocated that he hasn't spent. So where's the $75 billion that they haven't spent? And why does he need more money right now? And why is the Pentagon running out of money if he has $75 billion sitting on the table? Blue Powell says, notice Israel has been sitting out. Didn't you see what happened? Saudi Arabia and the United States had a nuclear deal so that Saudi Arabia can enrich nuclear fuel. Did you see this, Blue Apollo? The Israelis are pissed. Trump is going to nuclearize the Middle East, which is the dumbest fucking thing that anyone could do. It's the most volatile place on the earth. And you're going to allow all these countries to have nuclear weapons? Really? Is that his plan? Like, well, Iran can't have a nuclear weapon, but we'll let everyone else have one. And now, therefore, Iran will be surrounded by nuclear weapons. Yes, but these countries all hate each other. And Israel as well. Yes. Today at Blue Apollo. Hold on, I'll find you the story. It just came across the wire. Well, I've been hearing about it all day, but it just came across the wire. Sky News. Hold on a second. Let's dial in. U.S. Energy Department said the peaceful nuclear cooperation agreement would help establish a decades-long, multi-billion-dollar partnership. U.S. and Saudi Arabia have reached a nuclear cooperation deal. The U.S. Energy Department announced a peaceful nuclear cooperation agreement had been signed on Wednesday. It said the deal would lay the foundation for a decades-long, multi-billion-dollar partnership that advances several priority economic and strategic objectives, including nuclear non-proliferation. The deal could potentially provide Saudi Arabia with uranium enrichment capability for its civilian nuclear program. That's how we got in this situation, isn't it? U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has previously said any deal signed would not lead to proliferation. The agreement was signed by U.S. Secretary of Energy Chris Wright and Saudi Minister of Energy Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, alongside an accompanying bilateral safeguards agreement. A number of Democratic lawmakers have warned that the deal could trigger an arms race in the Middle East. Senator Ed Markey said the agreement will make us all less safe, risk allowing Saudi Arabia, a belligerent and authoritarian nation, to develop nuclear weapons technologies while starting a war with Iran under the guise of preventing an Iranian nuclear bomb. You think that makes Israel safer? Yeah, Blue Apollo. Buckle up! I don't know if you were here at the very beginning when I was talking, but the Houthis have joined the fight. Do you know this, Blue Apollo? 4 ships were turned back at the Red Sea today. No, Blue Apollo, they signed an agreement. Paper is signed. Anyway, they're going to open up another front in the Red Sea. They're going to choke off another oil shipping choke point. The situation is just getting worse and worse all the time. And Trump doesn't have any plan. Here's Trump's plan. Did you hear his plan? Trump's plan is this. From this point forward, this is directly from True Social. From this point forward, anytime the Islamic Republic of Iran shoots at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, whether it be by missile, rocket, drone, or any other device or weapon, the United States will bomb and destroy one bridge or power plant, including those located next to or in the capital city of Tehran. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald Trump. So he's back to war crimes. Threatening war crimes. And like I said, in the meantime, the Houthis are joining the fight, and they're going to close down the strait. I forget the name of that strait, but there's a strait in the Red Sea. It's just like the Hormuz Strait. Blue Pile says, totally expected this. Fuentes actually laid out the new fronts of the war a day or two ago, right? I told you I didn't think he was a dumb guy. I just think he's an asshole. It's obvious that he's intelligent when you listen to him talk, but like I said, he's just a dick. Damien says, Bush Camp Dads, is that you? Fearsome says, fuck Israel, I hope they get glassed. Well, you know, all the seeds are being laid for World War III. I mean, you see it right in front of you. I mean, do you think that this is going to get any better anytime soon? You think Donald Trump has, like I said, any kind of clue? What Trump is like a guy who just pushed a rock down a hill. He's just watching it roll down the hill and like roll into a neighborhood, smash a bunch of cars and houses. I don't know who that is. I have to look him up. Bush Camp Dad. I don't know who that is, but he said, if you say so, I must look like him. That's like, but anyway, like I said, and now, so his solution seems to be to allow everybody else. Well, yeah, we all know that, Fearsome. He says Trump is a child molester. We all know that. Everybody knows that. Oh, I know. Did you see this? This just happened too right before I came on. West Virginia assistant GOP majority leader charged with enticing a minor. Republican delegate Elliot Pritt, a public school teacher and assistant majority leader of the West Virginia House of Delegates, was arrested today on federal charges of enticing a minor. According to a federal criminal complaint, Pritt began communicating with the girl through Roblox and Snapchat when she was in the 8th grade in 2024, later telling her he loved her and sending sexually explicit images. The complaint alleges that he requested she meet him in his classroom at Oak Hill High School on multiple occasions and pressured her to keep it secret, warning it would end both of their lives as they knew them. Republican delegate Tristan Levitt called the allegations vile and said Pritt should resign immediately. Democrats Kaylee Young and Sean Hornbuckle echoed that call. But House GOP leadership, meanwhile, only cited the presumption of innocence, stopping short of demanding that he step down. Pritt remains a sitting delegate unless he resigns or the House votes to remove him. It's always these fucking guys. I keep telling you this. There's something wrong with the right wing in this country. There's something wrong with the Republican Party. It's filled with fucking disingenuous, fucking perverted, child molested shitbags. And they all stick up for each other because they need those seats and those votes in the House and whatever. They care about power more than they care about morality or truth or any of that shit. Power. That's all they care about. It's like this McConnell thing. Is he dead? Is he not dead? You don't know, but if he is dead, they're going to keep him in a freezer and keep it a secret. So that the Democrats don't get another vote. Because that's all they care about. Blue Apollo says the CEO of Roblox is basically supporting pedophiles being on there. It's a big drama on YouTube. In the predator catching scene, they banned the channel and catch predators on Roblox, even if police intervene. I'm just saying, this country, every day that you watch it, and I'm an American, I live here, I'm trapped, in this fucking nightmare that this country is. But we've given away our moral. We don't have any morals. Capitalism has created a culture of soulless fucking pricks that only care about themselves. Here, did you see this, Blue Apollo? Apparently, Laura Loomer went to Ukraine, right? And all this time, Laura Loomer been sticking up for Russia and been talking shit about Ukraine all this fucking time, right? She went to Ukraine, right? And here's what happened. She says, I just experienced my first air raid in Ukraine. Sirens blaring. This is every day for every Ukrainian. I feel like such an asshole for minimizing the struggle of Ukrainians for the last 5 years. I often said I don't care. Looking back, that wasn't very nice of me to say. You think, bitch? There are people in Ukraine who have to run to a bomb shelter every day, and some of us had the audacity to say that Russia wasn't wrong because we believed the lie that Ukraine is a country full of Nazi sympathizers. We have been so propagandized by Russia and don't even realize it. Are you fucking kidding me? This is what I've been telling you since 2010, that you fucks are listening to foreign propaganda and letting it brainwash you. And all of a sudden, that's what Nick Fuentes says, I'm sure. Who's fucking her, dude? That's like she sleeps around. What, a bunch of blind men? That's like, this is not an attractive woman. And she's a cunt. That's like, it's like Ann Coulter. It's like a cunty skeleton. It's like these are not attractive women. All the mega women, they look like fucking mannequins and shit. They all got plastic surgery, so much plastic surgery. They said they look like sex dolls. And again, not attractive ones. Like dime store sex dolls. I never understood that, why people do that to themselves. And how you can look at a mirror and think that you look good. Like, I look great. There's this bitch that comes on a feed sometimes. I forget who. She used to be a real reporter. There's a lot of people who used to be real reporters who used to be on TV, and now they have like internet shows. So there's this chick. Her name is Trish Regan or Reagan. It's one of them. But her face is stretched so tight from facelifts that when she talks, these lines appear right here, and she looks like a fucking puppet, like a ventriloquist puppet. And you're like, how is that? How do you look in the mirror at yourself and go, yeah, I look great? It's like they gave her the Kenny Rogers. Remember when Kenny Rogers did that to himself? That was fucking sad. It's like, oh, Kenny, man, they stretched it too. they roasted your face. Ken says they look like bottom feeders. I just don't get it. You see these pictures of them, and you're like, this is what they looked like before. And then you see them. It's like after they carved up their fucking faces, and you're like, dude, what the fuck? It's like some Frankenstein shit. It's unbelievable. This is something else that I thought was interesting that I found on Donald Trump's Truth Social. And I thought it was worth mentioning because it doesn't sound like anything at first, like that's of that much import. But just listen. He says, effective August the 1st, 2026, all generic drugs being brought into the United States will continue to have a tariff of 0% for a 2-year period of time, after which the tariff will be raised to 100% for a 1 year period of time and 200% thereafter. This is done in order to reshore generic pharmaceutical production into America, with a penalty to those companies that decide not to build plant and equipment within the stated period of time given to them. The objective of this policy is to protect the people of the United States. Policy on patented, branded, or innovative drugs, which has been so successful, will remain as is. Pharmaceutical facilities are being built at a level never seen before all over the United States of America. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Now, here's the part that I don't understand. He says 0% tariff for a 2 year period of time, after which the tariff will be raised to 100% for a 1 year period of time, and then 200% thereafter. That's 4 fucking years. He's got 1.5 years left in office. Why is he like writing some policy that's 4 years into the future? That's the part that caught my attention. Blue Plus says, I assume he's going to do nothing to build the actual manufacturing for more drugs and just increase the price via tariffs, right? No, but like I said, why is he writing policy? 2 years he'd be out of office. So therefore, why is he writing a policy that extends itself for 4 years? When the next president can just get rid of it immediately, if there is an next president. But my point is, I don't think these people are going to try a hostile takeover of this country. I really believe that. I really believe now that these people, that's why he's setting up this shit. Did you see today? He went on TV, right, and tried to tell you that China interfered somehow in the 2020 election, did some shit like that. And then Rubio talked to China today, and they asked him, did you talk? And he said, oh, we didn't even talk about that. That's how you know he's fucking lying. He's full of shit. It's bullshit. It's all a predicate for them to try to do something during the election. Did you see the guy the guy Ortega, the Sandinista guy in Nicaragua? He just declared, oh, no more elections. I guess they've been running rigged elections for years and years and years. And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Whiskey again. Not a Jew, bro. Got to do this all the time. It's like, not a Jew. Blue Apollo. He's got 1.5 years left. Blue Apollo. It's 1.5 years. And his midterm's coming up next soon. But see, he wants to get out of his term without any consequences or anybody, asking him any questions. And he knows that if he loses the House or the Senate, what's up, Caitlin? That he's going to at least they're going to have to answer a bunch of questions, and they're going to get a bunch of obstruction. They're not going to be able to just do whatever they want. You should see, now, I don't really like Jake Tapper, but this report that he's putting out now, it could sink Ty Blanche's nomination as the Attorney General, because it's all about Minnesota and what happened in Minnesota and how they tried to fucking cover it up, and how Ty Blanche interfered personally in investigations, etc., etc. And what happened to that guy in Texas? They shot that guy in Texas, and then they tried to pretend like there was meth in his car for a second. And that's gone away, hasn't it, real fast? These guys are disingenuous shitbags that will lie about anything and will fabricate evidence in cases. Blue Apollo says, yeah, the Dems will win the House and Senate, and they're going to fully investigate them. Mega is dead, and so is the whole administration. Well, maybe. I mean, you hope. But like I said, he could just pardon everybody and himself, and the Supreme Court gave him immunity. So they're going to walk away from this, but what we need is a buffer. Yes, politically, Blue Apollo, that is true. I don't know how anybody could vote for a Republican after this, after any of this. The sad thing is people are still going to do it. That's why I said, that's why he's laying these predicates. So he's gonna try to do something during this election. He doesn't want to lose because he doesn't want to face, like you're saying, he doesn't want to face the investigations and all the questions that are going to arise when they're not in charge anymore. And they can't squash everything and bury it under the rug. And where the other 3 million Epstein files that Ty Blanche doesn't want to show you. Hmm? Where you reckon they're keeping them? I don't know. And like I said, if the Houthis close down the other strait in the Red Sea, what happens then? Frank Vrooman says the socialists are destroying the Democratic Party. Are they? Are they? Or are they just changing it? Finally. Because I don't know if you saw this. You guys keep saying that Mom Donnie's a communist. Mom Donnie just did something his critics swore a socialist would never do. He cut fines, fees, permits, and red tape for small businesses. More than 50 reforms will make it easier for restaurants, bodegas, barbershops, retailers, and drivers to operate, including killing the absurd second permit that restaurants needed just to serve ice cream. Less bureaucracy, lower costs, more time running the business. This is what competent government is. No, I don't think so, Frank. First of all, you say you guys like I'm a Democrat, and I'm not. I've never been a member of any party. I don't like human beings in large groups, but we live in a two-party system, so yes, I understand the question. They're not communist, Blue Apollo. A communist wouldn't do that. You sound like an old man. You're like a young kid. You need to turn off the internet is what you need to do. That's because it has severely affected your perception of the world because I said, first of all, communism doesn't even exist. When's the last time you met somebody? What? Frank Ruman says, you're from Florida. You know, we are lousy with New Yorkers now. I'm not from Florida. I lived there for 10 years, but I'm not from there. I was born in Kentucky, raised in Cincinnati, Ohio area. Ken Catman says he wants to build his name on shit before he dies. Well, yeah, that's what I've been saying that for a long time. That's why he wants to build all this shit because he wants to be remembered. But he's only going to be remembered as a failure and a fucking joke. And all the people that support him, that Blue policies of communism doesn't exist and Nazis don't exist. That's not true. That's not true. There are Nazis, and I've met them. But I've never met a communist. Have you? Have you ever been? Frank says, can you define the Chinese Communist Party? No, as I said before, it's not really a communist party anymore. There's a lot of capitalism going on in China. I don't know if you notice that. I mean, they still have authoritarian aspects, and they still have some socialist, tendencies in the way they run their country. But it's not nearly as it's not communist. Like, there isn't, that's always been my point when I've been talking here. You'd be hard-pressed to find a communist country anymore. They're all either authoritarian dictatorships of some kind, or, like I said, they're like Chinese Communist Party has morphed into this capitalist communist hybrid, some sort of thing. But it's not the communist of like Chairman Mao. It's like North Korea is like the only real one left that's like strictly what you would imagine when they tell you like the textbook fear mongering. Blue policies. I've met communists. I've infiltrated their group chats before. They're definitely infinitely worse than the average moderate liberal. Frank says they just called themselves communists, right? Well, that was their name. They were the Chinese Communist Party. But it's been called that since Chairman Mao, like I said, back in the day. But the system itself is warped and morphed into something else. I said, there's capitalism going on like that, like Timu and all that shit wouldn't even exist. Yes, like I said, it's a hybrid. See, personally, that when Blue Apollo says communist, you think that you're like, oh, we're gonna take over the means of production and all this other shit. Like, no, like democratic socialism is like, it's not communism in any sense. Like I say all the time, like I don't really have a I think that all these systems are fucking broken. I've said that for a long time, and I think that you should take the parts of the parts of the systems that work and put them all together and form a new kind of system. And it's not even that new. Like the Netherlands and shit do it, where you have capitalism, but it's regulated so that it doesn't end up like Monopoly, where there's only 5 guys with all the fucking money. And I told you, I'm not really easily defined. Because I do believe that capitalism works, but there has to be rules. I'm not trying to defend China, Frank. Where did you get that idea? All I'm saying is that communism, like Stalin, doesn't like exist anymore, except in like North Korea. That's what I'm saying. Even Russia's oligarchy capitalist. It's not communist like it used to be. It's not like Lenin. I'm just pointing out the reality of the situation is that communist boogeyman is just a boogeyman that they use to scare you. It's like when people say George Soros. People still say that. People still go, George Soros paid for this. Like George Soros is about 110. George Soros probably looks like that Gary Oldman character laying in a bed in Hannibal. He's not fucking... He's not doing anything. He's lucky that he's alive. And they still act like he's like Sauron or something, like this. Frank says, no government is going to save you from what? Blue Paul says, I love China. I've never been there, so I don't really have an opinion. All I know is what I know about it. And you love it? Do you love that, knowing that they're watching every single thing that you do the whole time you're there, Blue Apollo? Do you like that? How's that make you feel? That's what I understand about you right-wing guys. Like conservatives, when I was younger, used to talk about freedom and shit. You guys have become a bunch of fucking bootlickers. I don't know why that is or how that is. It's like you're just willing to just give away your freedom and your rights and act like... Frank says, USSR, what's in your lifetime? What do you mean? When I grew up, we were hiding under the desk because Russia might nuke us at any time. That's what they would tell you. And like hiding under the desk to save you. It's like duck and cover, they called it. That's just so you become a little tiny pile of ash because you're all fucking bundled up. It's like I don't know what you're talking about. There used to be communist countries. I'm not saying that there weren't, but I'm saying it failed as a system. It doesn't work because first of all, it's never been, and that's a cliche, but it is true. It's never really been tried as true form like Marxism itself. It always becomes some kind of dictatorship, and it becomes a corrupt, oligarchy where only a certain few people control all the shit, and they rob the fucking people. And that's communism is supposed to be about helping the people. Frank says USSR, DDR, China. Yeah, but the USSR doesn't exist anymore. And like I said, Russia's a capitalist oligarchy. Now, it's not really communist anymore. It still has authoritarian aspects, of course, because of Putin. But it's not really communist like it was under like Stalin. And even then it wasn't, because Stalin was fucking taking all the shit. But China's not. See, now you're not being... It's communist in name only. It's like the Nazis, the National Socialist Workers' Party of Germany or whatever. They weren't socialists. They just had the name socialist in the fucking name. It's like... I do too, Blue Apollo. I'm fascinated by Asian culture. I think I talk about Japanese history sometimes I get off into a tangent. I was reading that book about Tokugawa Ieyasu. The history of Japan is fascinating. And like I said, they've been around for way longer than us. They've had thousands of years, It's like, See, China used to have a dynasty of the emperors and shit, and then they went from that to communist China. Frank says starts out as a living room, works its way into socialism, turns to communism, and becomes a dictatorship. No, but that's what I'm saying is, except in those countries in Europe and in Canada, you know, it's like you can have socialist aspects of your government and not turn into whatever you're talking, Stalin or whatever. Like it can be done. And anyway, you were asking me what I thought, and then, like I said, I think that you should, in the economic system, you should have capitalism, but it should be regulated. I also believe there are certain segments of your society that should not be for profit, such as education, healthcare, and prisons. Prisons should never be for profit. That's one of the most disgusting. I've said that 1,000 times, and I'll go die on that hill. The prison for profits system scheme is one of the most disgusting things. It's like slavery. It's like replacing slavery. Blue Plow says, what do you think we're going to do with Pickaxe Mountain? Trump said they're going to bomb it, but I've seen people theorize about nukes. What? No, they're not theorizing. Those are those lazy boy generals that say, turn it to glass. Like the guy earlier that was like, I don't care if Israel gets glass. There's lots of nice armchair generals that say shit like that. No, ain't nobody going to shoot no nuke. I mean, Trump's crazy enough to. I'm not saying he's not. But I don't think so. Frank says capitalism isn't really capitalism. It isn't if there's no rules. It's an oligarchy, which is what we've become. Blue Power says because definitions are out the window. Racism means something different to everyone along with all the other titles. Well, I think it's just human relations, bro. I mean, do you know my premise? I believe if you start off the conversation with you already have some preconceived idea about what this person is because of the color of their skin, then you've already lost you've already lost. You're already lost. You're already out there in the ether where like, you're shutting yourself off to possible human contact with other people just simply because they're different than you, which is unbelievable. I never understood why anybody wanted to just hang around a bunch of people that was just like them. It's like, you don't learn nothing that way. Frank says we have to agree on definitions if it's ever going to be solved. But that's what I mean is there's nothing black and white anymore in this world. Everything's a weird gray area, especially the more that we've blurred the moral lines. There aren't any morals anymore. So everything is just out there for... No, not a Jew, bro. I don't know why you all that's whenever new people come here sometimes, like that's the first thing they say, just immediately, Jew. And that's what I'm talking about. He probably is immediately not listening to anything I'm saying because he thinks I'm a Jew and he hates fucking Jews, and so he's not going to listen. It's like, first of all, I'm not a Jew. Second of all, you don't know what I'm saying because you're not even listening. You've already let your preconceived prejudices and ideas like turn your mind off, which is what they do. That's what propaganda is. Don't you understand that? That's the whole purpose of it, is to fuck with your brain and get you to turn it off. Blue Apollo says most people don't know the exact definition or history of certain polarities, so they make an educated guess. Right? Frank says, seems that definitions are just politics. Nothing means the same anymore. You're a spiritual Jew then. I'm not a spiritual Jew. I'm not a Jew at all. Blue Apollo says to get my morals from God, at least in my mind, there's no harm in following Christ. I never said there was. I said a million times on this show, life is hard. Whatever gets you through life, that's fine. It's good. But it's when people start fucking with other people. Like Daniele has this big 3-part series about the French wars of religion against the Catholics and the Protestants. And you listen to these guys talk about how Western civilization is so fucking great, and they're slaughtering themselves in the streets because one interpret the Bible differently than the other. And you act like this is some wonderful, great culture that needed to be saved. That's a myth, Frank Vrooman. They keep saying that shit, but that's not true. And you still got plenty of business going on in New York. JP Morgan and them ain't left. The fucking stock exchange is still there. You ain't gonna leave. Now there are some, like Rogan left, and people like that. There are some, but I think that's more like the right wing people just didn't want to live there anymore. I don't know if you notice this, but everybody's grouping off. Like I said, it's the red state, blue state shit. Blue Power says, what do you think of the 50-50 option of life after death? It's either it's real and you go to hell or heaven, or you don't think it's real and you go to hell, etc. Or what happens if it's just nothing? What if you just die and that's the end of it? Why is that not in your equation? I'm not sitting here saying I know what happens, but I'm saying, what if it's just like a switch and you go off? And all that shit was bullshit. And you could have really done whatever you wanted to do with your life. You hadn't been listening to all those other fucking people. Don't you understand that? That's the pattern. Is almost everything, not even just religion, politics, especially the internet now, is designed to control your mind. Don't you understand that? Other people want to control what you do with your life. That's why that's always been my number one sense, rebellion. Like, that's how I rebelled. Was I didn't fucking do anything that people said I should do. I did what the fuck I wanted to do. Blue Pop says it's kind of a joke, but I don't understand why people leave it at 50-50. Like, there might be life after death, there might not. I'm going to take the heaven path. Right? But what if you were wrong? What if you thought you did everything right and you still wind up in the shit place? How do you know? Who's the judge? Who decides? It's like a trial when you die. You gotta prove yourself to be good. What if you were the dress code religions and you weren't wearing the proper uniform? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, who knows? I don't believe that there's any human being qualified to speak on it. No one really knows, do they? All I do know is that, like I said, for 1,000 years or whatever, churches and religions have been, even before Christ, BC, and all that. There was still religions, and those shamans, or the Egyptian shamans, or the Mayan shamans, or the Aztec shamans, or whatever, they used that religion to control people and to get money for themselves and to live a high fucking fancy lifestyle. And it's always been the same. Blue Power says, I have to have faith and morals guide me to what I think is right and hope I have the good outcome. That's really all I can. But when you were an atheist 2 years ago, were you a shitbag? Did you go around just doing shitty things that you don't do now? Do you know what I mean? Like, I never understood. Like, if you're a good human being, you're a human being. See, that's why I like the Asian philosophies. It's like we were saying, like Bushido and shit, where there's a code and you live by that code, try to be the best human being you can be without outside interference, or whatever, or outside threats or rules, or, it's like the whole purpose of it is to try to be a human being, to elevate yourself as a human being, as a spiritual being. And then the reward will come in of itself, don't you believe? I'm a good person. I try to help people when I can, and if I can, I will. And I try not to do harm to people. I try to, of course, everybody falls short of shit because they're fucking human beings and they make stupid mistakes. They do dumb things. But I'm asking you, when you were an atheist 2 years ago, were you a different person? Blue Ball says, yes, I was a shitbag, and I tried to be very conscious about my decision in day-to-day life and thinking because I was not doing good at all. But what do you mean, though? Like, were you lost mentally, or like I said, were you like doing like shit to other people, like being evil? You know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Because you seem like a Blue Paw says I was mean and rude and stole and was spiteful, even when I was in the wrong. Yeah. So you had like a moment where how did this occur? Like when did you realize like you were a shit? It's like AA is the same thing. And people are like, I can't stop drinking and I need a higher power to help me. And somehow mentally that helps them where they couldn't do it themselves. You know, I have always been lucky and I've been able to self correct. Laura says, I am a pretty nice, damn nice guy. Thank you. I appreciate that. I tried to be a good person. Like I said, no one's perfect. But that's what I mean about that's why I was saying about the Eastern philosophies and about pursuing being a spiritual human being, a highly evolved human being. That's what I'm interested in more than religion. It's still kind of spiritual in a way, but it's more self-contained. I don't believe that you need a third party. That I guess that's what I'm asking you, Blue Apollo. Did you go to a church and someone talked to you and this happened, or did you pick up the Bible and read it yourself and have like an epiphany, or I just wonder how that happens, or did you find a pamphlet? In one of those little plastic figurines that people leave of Jesus. Blue Pile says, when I went to juvie when I was 15 or 16, I'm 22 now. So, yeah, 6 years ago. I prayed that I would get out early because I was waiting for my court date, and I could have taken a month. A minute later, my PO called me with a court date in a day or two, and I think back to that a lot. Well, see? So you were like Jelly Roll. You're like, God, I never asked you. I never talked to you, never asked you for nothing, but God damn it, I need this. Please. And it happened. But see, it doesn't matter how it happens. I say that a million times. And again, just because I'm not religious, I don't attack people who are. I just don't understand it myself because I don't trust the institution itself. How's that? Because historically, throughout the time and the history of mankind, churches and religions have just been a tool that they use to control people. Like I said, read about the French Wars of Religion. I mean, that was what was going on in France, but in the UK they were doing that too. Catholic versus Protestant all over Europe. Martin Luther started a bunch of shit when the Protestant Reformation. You know why? Because it wrenched control away from the Catholic Church, the Catholic Church had everybody in the bag. And like I said, that's why I don't trust religion, because it's an organized game that they use to control you and to enrich themselves. Blue Paw says, yeah, but for me, the very few times I prayed as an atheist, 2 or 3 times, something good really happened, almost like a miracle, right? I've had almost like a miracle several times, but not from praying, just naturally happened. Like there's lots of times when I should have died and I didn't die. And it's not because I prayed for God to save me. I just was lucky, or whatever you want to call it. I always thought it meant that I was meant to do something, and eventually that would reveal itself, because if you believe in destiny and all that kind of shit. Blue Pile says the word faith has sold me. The one that what I'm saying to you is, it doesn't matter. And I'm not trying to talk you out of it or convince you. I'm just explaining to you where I'm coming from and how I feel about it. Like I said before, whatever helps someone get through life is good, I think, because life is hard, and I know it is. And I've been in all the way at the bottom of the barrel, numerous times. I, what do they say? When you got nothing, you ain't got nothing to lose. The old Bob Dylan line, but that's true. It's like once you realize that losing everything doesn't kill you, it makes you very strong. Blue Paw says, "I know you're not. I'm trying to convince you." I told you I've chosen my path. I said I live by the Bushido code, or I try to. Which is weird because they were a bunch of fucking savage murderers on the other hand. That's what's fascinating about Japanese culture. It's so spiritual and philosophical on one hand, but then they turn around and they're fucking brutal. Brutal killers, violence as fuck, and you're like, it doesn't make any sense. It's fascinating. But the philosophical side of it is very appealing to me. I said the honor and having a code for yourself. And it serves the same purpose as religion, but it's not religion. It's not like, oh, you have to go to this gathering with a bunch of other people that think like you. Like, no, it's more of an individual pursuit. And I was an only child and I grew up alone most of my life. So individual pursuits are pretty much all I know. I grew up alone a lot, so I don't identify with big groups of people. That's what I mean. Is like that I really don't get the tribalism because I don't understand. Like whenever I see a big group of people doing something, it creeps me out. Like I was security in Vegas, right? And I did this. We won't name them for fear of lawsuits or breaking some kind of confidentiality. But let's just say it was a big giant chain of franchise pizza parlors. They were having this convention where all the people that ran these pizza joints all over the world gathered in Las Vegas so that they could talk about what they were going to do in the upcoming year or whatever, right? And there's all these people. It's a big corporate event. And there's all these people there, the guys with big giant screens on the stage. And guys talking about how, we're going to sell all these pizzas and everybody's like, it was like church. And I find it creepy. The only thing I can get into like that is a sporting event. We're all there to cheer on the same team. You all like the same sport. I get that part. I mean, I get that one. I don't feel in the least bit, weird or creeped out when I'm celebrating with somebody I don't know because the Bengals scored a touchdown or something. You're hugging strangers, like when you win a game. And it's the same thing, but there's something about it. Like it's just creepy to me. Blue Paw says, I'm older than him, so it's a long shot, but he had to shoot the shot. He had to try to Kirk Cameron me. And Brett proselytize me. Blue Paw says, yes, we are humans. Tribalism is in our instincts. Can really go against human nature. No, I don't. On some level, no. That's why I said that's why I still like to go to sporting events or concerts. But to me, a concert is my church. Where like I go to a place where a bunch of people like the same fucking music as me, and we all listen to the fucking same music, and his music is primal as well. So it taps into those primal instincts. So you're with a tribe of people that like, System of a Down or Tool or whatever band you're seeing. I mean, I've seen a bunch of different shit. I mean, like I said, in the last month, I seen Paul Simon and Bob Dylan. But you don't get the same kind of feeling at those kind of shows that you do like at a metal. And a metal show is like a tribe. It's like we all like metal. And in the old days, that used to be like a side of really being outside of the mainstream. That's why so many people hated Metallica. Because They were ours, and then they decided that they wanted to be mainstream, and you're like, you don't have to be mainstream. You were ours. It's a lot of really hardcore fans got mad, Blue Pop says, I love death metal. It's very unchristian of me. But the guitar and drums are so sick. You let your pastor know that you're listening to Diabolical or Laura says, I don't understand why people sit in church every Sunday worshiping God. You think God would rather have you out and about helping others and serving your communities instead, right? Well, it's that thing. It's the Sunday's a day of rest, but it's not really rest, is it, when you got to get up and go to church? This is supposed to be my day of rest, but we're getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning, going to put on a suit. Blue Paw says, I listen to way worse metal than Metallica. They're weak compared to my bands, honestly. I like that kind of music. The music is good. I just never like that vocal style. I'd rather listen to a band like Mudvayne or the Deftones where it's heavy, but the guy's singing. And you can kind of you can understand what he's saying. Like, you like Lamb of God, Blue Apollo? Are you a Lamb of God guy? Don't your church know? It's like, you want to hear something funny, Blue Apollo? This is true. Back when I was younger, when I was like in high school, I don't know if you ever heard of King Diamond, but he was like one of the original metal, like Satan metal guys. Blue Apollo says, that's where I sometimes sympathize with libertarians in taking on the social and community costs upon themselves rather than the state or the government. Yeah, but like I said, that collectivism shit doesn't really work, does it? It's not really a feasible. I mean, it works in it, like you can set up a small commune that way, but it's not a way to run a country. You can't run a whole country like that. But anyway, I didn't finish my story. So it's King Diamond. Oh, I love Deftones, bro. They're one of my favorite bands. Yeah, Cannibal Corpse, Death. Yeah, Chuck Shoulder the Dinger. He's one of the original metal guys. He like helped death metal. He helped like define the genre. Well, they say that, but he's he's like the first death metal guy in a way that like Elvis was the first blues rock and roll guy. Because those guys in Scandinavia, they're the ones that invented death metal. American musicians heard it, and then Death is like the first American death metal band. But like I said, they weren't the first death. They didn't invent the fucking genre. That genre was invented in like Finland or some shit. They're good, Blue. I'm not saying that. I just, like I said, I just don't like that, fucking vocal style. I just never been into it. I'd rather listen to, I said, Chino, where he screams, and he can do that, but then he sings, like still melody and shit to it. Blue Pop says, I watched some of the old tapings. I wish I was there. Yeah, it's a shame that he died. He died young. I don't even remember how he died, but yeah, it was kind of a bummer. And the same, I mean, bands like that exist, but they're way back underground now, way back underground. Like they've managed to tamp back the fucking metal. It's a bunch of old fossil bands that are still around, but like I haven't seen like many younger bands like that are really successful. They might be out there, but no one's came to me and said, hey, check this out. And I was like, oh yeah, it's really good. So it's always like, even you're talking about old bands. Like what happened to that? Like it's like punk. There ain't no punk rock anymore. It's just morphed into pop. And it's pop music now. It's like there's no Dead Kennedys or this is the perfect time for that. I was saying that for a while. I was hoping that this would like propagate another explosion of like underground music, like real punk rock or real metal, because these kinds of times always, rebellion usually starts in music. Blue Apollo said, my buddy's dad had over 100 to 200 CDs of death metal, had a surround sound in his man cave with a fridge full of IPA. Ooh, I can't stand IPA. It's fucking too bitter for me, man. I can't deal with it. But anyway, I was going to tell you. So, then you have heard of King Diamond, Blue Apollo. I said, he is in the 80s, one of the original, I said, like, real fucking, he was like Black Sabbath to the 20th power. He had he wore white makeup on his face and had a thing, and he's a great singer. He's has like an opera voice, for real. And he had great guitar players. And that's one thing about that genre of music. They always have great guitar players. And drummers. The bass players are always kind of irrelevant in those bands. It's like, is there a bass even playing? That's like, it's all guitars and drums. Oh no, Blue Apollo, I think you would like him. Like I said, he said he was an avowed Satanist, and he wore white paint, and he had an upside down cross painted on his forehead, and he was in another band called Mayhem, I think, before that. And then he just became King Diamond. But all of his albums are like theme albums. It's like a story. Like one of them is called Abigail, and the whole story is about how there's a spirit in this painting. And it does shit. And then he has another album called Them, where it's about he goes to this old creepy mansion where his grandma lives with his mom, and then his grandma does some kind of ritual and cuts his mom's hand with blood in a tea, and it opens up this thing, and demons come out and haunt the house. but it's all metal, like I said, and all the songs tell a story. It's very good. Like I said, you would like it, I think. I mean, it's certainly not fucking thrash. I mean, I don't even know what you would call it. But his voice is incredible. Like I said, he's like a opera singer. Anyway, he was from I can't remember where he was from, Sweden or Norway. He's from one of those countries. And like I said, he was in a band before he became King Diamond. Blue Apollo says, Portrayal of Guilt. After this, you should check them out. They have a live session on YouTube. The guitar band is so sick. Singer, lead guitar, bass, and drums. Best new age band. Yeah, I saw this. I was watching this movie about drummers that had Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction and several other drummers from bands. And there was this band called Royal something. They were from England, and it was just a guitar player and a drummer. And they were fucking really good. Like, this drummer was fucking sick. Like, it's like, dude, this guy's fucking badass. But anyway, they're real big in Europe, I guess. But yeah, they're playing like thrash. And that French band, Gojira, they're pretty good. You like them? They played at the Olympics. They were playing up on that castle. They open up for the Deftones a lot, Gojira. They always go on tour together because I almost went to their show in Vegas, but for some reason I missed it. But yeah, I forgot how much I love music. Blue Apollo says, my stepdad plays drums. He's not that good, but it's sick. I was playing drums. No, sometimes. What, you never seen Gojira, Blue Apollo? They're a French metal band. They're good. I said, you didn't see the Olympics? There was this band playing on the fucking on a castle. And that's them. It's because the Olympics were in France. They're like the pride of France. It's not really mainstream, though. That's what I'm saying. It's more like it's French thrash metal. Sometimes I don't even think they don't even sing. It's just music. Some of it. My favorite band of the last. I mean, Tool, of course, is my favorite band. of all time. But and even they have changed. Like that Tool was a lot heavier, and they've gotten more. I mean, it's still heavy, but it's definitely mellower than it was in the past. And um, but System of a Down to me is one of the most amazing bands because they combine so many different elements together and to create this thing that's unique. It's like they have elements of serious thrash metal, the elements of punk. They can sing melodic songs. They can, I mean, they can do almost anything. And they can do almost anything within the framework of a song. Blue Apollo says, I was waiting for Jimmy to call him Stewie and call me a maggot. Right? He hasn't been here the last couple times. I don't know why. Last time I was talking to that real Nazi guy, he might have just lurked and went away. Remember that one day I was talking to a right wing guy, he got salty. He stayed away for a couple days. He takes shit to heart sometimes, but I like him. And I said, I know this when he's not here. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the new schedule fuck him up. He won't be here as much. I don't know. Maybe he's busier at the power plant on Mondays. Blue Apollo says, I like Aerials by System of a Down. My dad showed me them and Rage Against the Machine. Right. And Tool, bro. You know about Tool? You're trying to convert me to religion. You know anything about Tool? Maynard himself. Maynard has 3 bands. Now, you probably won't like Pussifer, but I bet you'd like A Perfect Circle, and you would like Tool. And like I said, the early Tool was heavy as shit. And they just gotten... Blue Apollo says, that's how most Republicans are. They hate the left. Difference is I can sympathize with the moderates. See, I don't... Again, in the same way we were talking about religion, like the other night, you were here for a little while and then you left. But I wound up talking to that guy who was a Nazi for half an hour, maybe. And by the end of it, we were actually talking. You know what I mean? I don't hate anybody. I try not to. Again, it goes against the code, the Bushido code. It's you try to be a good human being in all circumstances, even the most difficult. And, it's easier to say, fuck that guy's a shitbag, or whatever. But I'm genuinely curious about how you guys think. And you can't learn anything about it if you don't talk to people. You need to form, like I said, conclusions about shit that... Blue Apollo says, I didn't see that. Did he say I'm a Nazi? He did. He did. Because you know how I always say is I hate these people that hide behind, they don't say, they say all these things that are Nazi beliefs, but then they go, but I'm not a Nazi. It's I can't stand that. I respect you more if you just be honest. Blue Apollo says, because as much as I am radical right, I still say Nazis did bad and white nationalists are bad. Because they are. See, this is what I don't understand. Then how are you so radical, Blue Apollo? I like all the Tool, Ken, really, but I'm just saying old school Tool was heavier. For sure. But they're fucking 60 years old now. What do you want them to do? All the way up to 10,000 days, they were kicking ass. But did you say Stained? You're not listening to Stained, are you? They fucking suck. Old drunk Lewis. No, but what I want to know is, Blue Apollo, is if you think that the Nazis are bad and white nationalists are bad, then how are you radical right? What do you mean by when you say radical right? That's what I don't get. That's why I said before, I don't understand you, because you like flirt with this with that group or whatever. But like, I don't believe you really belong in that group because those guys wouldn't give. Nick Fuentes wouldn't give his black people he works with a ride. He fucking shits on them all day on this fucking show, unless he's full of shit. Again, maybe he's a disingenuous shitbag. Maybe he would. Maybe when he turns off the camera, he's a totally different person. That was my point I was trying to make to you the other day about Tate. Or any of these guys you see on the internet. Like, you don't know what they're really like. A lot of these people, they say that. There's lots of people in the manosphere and lots of people that don't really believe all these things they're saying. They're just saying it because young people like yourself will watch and they make money. But when they turn the camera off, they don't really believe that shit. Now, the guy that's hitting himself in the face with a hammer, I believe he believes that. You know, you'll just hit yourself in the face with a hammer to get a couple likes. Or maybe you do. I don't know. He's made a lot of money, so it's like, maybe I'm not doing anything, I'm not being radical enough. Were you here the other day when that girl came? She was like, "Oh, you're laughing and smiling and having too good of a time. No one's gonna watch this show." Because they all want hate, and shit. They were like, if that's true, if that's what people want, then we're not going to fix this world. That's what I'll tell you as an older person. That's what I fear, is that we've lost humanity. We've lost our humanity somewhere along the way. We've given up our moral high ground. We're not evolved anymore. We've devolved into. We're more closer to the animal part of ourselves than the enlightened intellectual part. Blue Apollo says, because you can't be pro-white, pro-America without saying all the harm and racism is good. Groypers can distinguish between good people and bad people no matter the race. Matt Walsh is the prime example. Yeah, but Matt Walsh is a douchebag who fucking lies and cries all the fucking time about everything. HD said, I'm a stapler. I lost my humanity when I became a stapler. That's just South Park. The stapler. To see, I don't understand how you guys have bought into this thing that you're oppressed somehow. Like, you're not oppressed. It's like the Matt Walsh show. It's so hard to be a white guy. They're all so mad because they put Lupita Nyong'o in the Odyssey. It's been going on now for like a month. These guys been crying. It's like they're supposed to be alpha males, the highest masculine. That's like the highest masculinity possible. Oh my God, there's a black woman in a movie. And he blatantly lies constantly. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here comes Randy with the fucking shit. Oh, yeah, they're all over the trans. It's an invasion. Wait, she said the 2 trans people that you have in the state could possibly use this bathroom. It's like fucking unbelievable. And Blue Apollo, I said he's another one of those people. He lies about history. He had a whole series where he was trying to reinterpret the civil rights movement. Blue Apollo says, who cares about girls' sports? It sucks to watch anyways. That's what I think is funny, is no one cared about women's sports until they could use it as a wedge political issue. It's just like the election thing. Trump says, "Oh, election security is shitty. It's the worst thing ever." And China's fucking in the fucking around the elections. And then he talks to China. He don't even bring it up. And then behind the curtain, he's cutting all the fucking election security programs that we have in place. You know that, right? It's such a problem. Then why does he get rid of all this shit? Because like I said earlier in the show, he's going to try to stay in power any way he can. There are people who believe that he's trying to, like, that's why they built that ballroom, because he's bunkerizing up the White House and he's going to try to stay there in perpetuity and do like Ortega did and just get rid of elections in the United States, wherever. Declare martial law and all that other shit. But, people have been saying that shit for years. I've been saying it for so long. People don't listen anymore, but like, this guy might be serious. He's already killing people all over the place. He obviously doesn't give a shit about using power to squash people. And he's done it multiple times now. People are dead. People don't even talk about that anymore because I said our attention span is so minute. It stopped for a minute. People stopped talking about it, and then they started back up and they shot a couple more people. It's like, dude, this is a serious problem. Blue Pop says it's so contradictory because they say we are one and the same, yet they don't actually support women. Otherwise, they would protect their sports and things like that. They would see that wasn't ever even a problem. Until they realized they could use it as a political issue. That's what I'm saying. No one gave a fuck about it. Think trans people didn't exist? They did. Trans people have existed. Blue Paw says those people who worry about gender don't care about equality at all because they can't recognize the fucking difference. On the fundamental difference. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they used to call him a sissy man or something or whatever. Look at the sissy man. And then the sissy man wants to play basketball with the women and they go, he can't do that. But you wouldn't let him play with you because he's a sissy man. It's like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. You know how many girls that I saw that in California or some shit, but they were making a big deal out of a trans athlete, and all the girls that were at the thing were like, "We don't care. We know who she is. We've competed with her now for years now, and no one ever cared until it became a fucking talking point." That's what I mean. Is all these issues and it's all bullshit to distract you from the fact that you're getting fucked. Every single day, they don't want you thinking about that. So they want you thinking about, the trans person, or, Bud Light's trying to turn you gay, or, it's like all this shit that ain't got nothing to do with your fucking life. Because it's a distraction. You realize we're like, I don't even know. It's like 39 trillion, 40 trillion approaching. We're in debt. And Trump is just running around burning money. Now they're asking for $1.5 trillion for the military. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see Pete Hegseth up there, Blue Apollo? What a fucking piece of shit. Dumb fuck that guy is. He had an answer for nothing. Blue Apollo says, within the last week or two, I've thought a lot about my internal misogyny. I realized I was becoming the exact opposite of feminists who hate men. I became an actual woman hater, working on that, trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? But why? I mean, I get when you're young, like if a girl hurts you or something, that you sometimes you go through this period where they fuck chicks and fuck women. She stabbed me in the heart, It's like everybody's been through that. I think that a lot of the stuff you're going through, Blue Apollo, is just being a young man, figuring out who you are. But like I said, I don't believe that. I believe you might be right wing and conservative, but I don't believe. Like I said, you're obviously not one of these Nazi fucks. You obviously understand. And I think a lot of it too is you guys who are young, you grew up with these screens in your hands, man. They've been inside your brain your entire life. Somebody's been stirring around inside there. You know what I mean? and I really mean that sometimes, is that I think it would be good for you sometimes to just go out and turn your screen off, talk to some people. Blue Pile says, "You're not my age, Bruce, so you really wouldn't understand how bad it is nowadays, but it's even changed after high school for me. The dating market is so bad right now." Right? Well, I know it. That I was in it. But my point being, like, you're right. I'm older because I don't understand. Like I said, someone's been inside your brain since you were a little kid. You know, you've been looking at these screens, you've been on the internet all the whole time you've grown up. Like, I was lucky to through my developmental stages of growing up, there was no computers. You know, so no one was inside. The only thing inside your head was a TV, and there was only 3 channels, wasn't even cable. So it's hard for them to get inside your head. You know, you had to read a lot of books. I'm glad, but technology has its advantages, but it has its fallbacks too. That's what I'm saying is I don't believe that you ever had a chance to like figure out who you really were without somebody, like I said, without something or somebody tickling around inside your fucking brain. And that's why you're so confused about, you know, are you right this or left that, or it's like, are you and then you're a misogynist because you're listening to people like Andrew Tate tell you, you know, that and it's like, don't you think Blue Apollo it'd be hard to be a woman these days? That woman your age, where half of the population of males, young males, is listening to people like Andrew Tate, and there's this whole movement of telling them that they should just shut the fuck up and get back in the kitchen, you know, and that's not cool. Yeah, I'm gonna get out too. Email me, Blue Apollo and Bruce Leonard Leans left at outlook.com. We'll figure out a way that we can talk, or maybe one day we can video chat or something if you want. Sure. No, I'm into that. No, I can't really do it tonight though, because I said tomorrow's inventory and I got to work at 4 in the fucking morning, which fucking sucks. But I know you're just joking. I'm just saying again, like, try to put yourself in their shoes. That's got to suck. The problem is it's just a huge divide between what women want, what men want. I think that men are in the same spot as like white people are now, where like they're used to being in charge all the whole time, and they're just having like an existential crisis of realizing the fact that they're really not anymore in charge. And they're like, "Oh no, how are we gonna fix that?" You know, it's like, you try to grip real hard and bring things back to the way they were, but like things are never gonna be the way they were before. You know, like people don't like change. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Listen, if you just stumbled upon this show today, please like the channel, subscribe to the show. I'm here Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. Like I told Blue Apollo, if you want to send me a private message, it's Bruce Leonard Leans left at outlook.com. I don't beg for money on this show, but I do have a Patreon. It's called Bruce Leonard Comedy. And if you'd like to sponsor this show, I would let you. I was sick. I don't beg for money, but I would take it. It's like,
What?
anyway. What? She tried to email me before and it didn't go through. What do you mean by that? It wouldn't go through. Somebody would. No, I said that before. You could even come on the show as a guest, just like I would do with Danielle or anybody else, and we can talk in person, you know, or we can have a conversation over Facebook Messenger or whatever, and record it, and I can upload it to YouTube or whatever. If you want to actually, I said that before. Like this, I would really like to do that with a bunch of people. I would like to turn this show into something more than just me talking all the time. You know, like I think about going places and actually interviewing people and like learning things, like turning it into like a 60 minutes type show, but punk rock bootleg. Ken Catman says, Bud Light turns you gay. That's fucking funny, right? Right? That's what Kid Rock says. Anyway, I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. If you like this show, share it on your social media. Tell your friends about it. We need more people. Blue Paw says, I would annihilate him. It would mainly be me asking questions. I'm not trying to annihilate you, bro. It's about trying to understand each other. I know I said I'd never attacked you on this show. And I wouldn't attack you in that situation either. Like I said, I think that, like I told the Nazi guys, like talking to each other is better than trying to kill each other, don't you think? He said he had kids and shit. I'm like, a civil war is not good for your kids. It's like, you need to realize that all of this is a machine that's built by these rich people to keep us from realizing that it's those rich people who are fucking us over, and we should probably do something about it. That's what all this is. Why do you think they're trying to suck up all the media and all the conglomerations? And why do you think there's so many bots on the internet? They're trying to get inside your brain. They're trying to rile you and distract you from what's really going on, which is, like I said, we're all getting fucked, and it's just getting worse. But they don't want you to know that or realize it, because then we realize that we actually have power. Blue Paw says, I will admit that you have more historical and political knowledge than I do. Well, then, like I said, young man, then if that's what you believe in, and thank you for saying that. But I'm saying, and I'm not even saying this in an egotistical way, but I'm saying this is your opportunity to learn something, And again, even that doesn't mean that I'm trying to like convince you that you should be like me. I'm not. Like, I just think that we have once you have a better understanding of where another person's coming from, you understand them more. Then you have more empathy for them. Then it leads to, like I said, it's called spiritual enlightenment, young man. We're all trying to get there, and I know sometimes people never get there. And most of the time, I would say most human beings don't. But it's the striving to get there that's important. And you can't let them win by turning you into something, that you're not. Or that's why some of these people snap and do violent shit, and like, if you could ask them later, like, they'd probably be like, oh, that was stupid. Or like, I don't know about this thing the other day. Did you see that thing the other day? That to me seems suspiciously like a setup. Now, I'm not a conspiracy guy, you know that, but airsoft rifles and fireworks, come on, man. Who the fuck does that? Sounds like he was trying to get himself killed, and it didn't happen. Like he was like, well, if I just pull out these airsoft rifles, they'll just blow me away, but they didn't. And so now he got arrested. Now he's going to be charged with terrorism or some shit. But the other part I thought was like, if they're going to do a false flag of some sort, is like, this is the way to do it, where no one's going to get hurt. Let's say. Seemed like a weird, I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, again, if you listen, I'll be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. I do have a Patreon. It's called Bruce Leonard Comedy. If you'd like to sponsor the show, and I'm not asking you to do that, but if you'd like to, tell your friends, please like the channel, subscribe to the show. I'll be back on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Thank you. Go out. Enjoy yourselves. Thanks for hanging out. Good night.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody.
If there was something new to see, I guarantee I'd be the first to be standing there bathed in that light. Until that day I'll keep my eyes shut tight. I do not want to pick a fight. I feel more at night.